Welcome everybody from the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. It's great to have you here today. Once again, we're going to continue to look at our urban parking system repository that's been designed and developed in Enterprise Architect. Now, recently, we've been looking at videos, looking at requirements, modeling, and management. We've looked at a number of different videos in relation to requirements, and today we're going to look at the relationship matrix to see how we can observe and manage and look after some of the relationships between requirements and other elements in our model. My name's Scott Hebbard. I'm joined by Stephen McGuire. Welcome, Stephen. What can you tell us about the relationship matrix today?
Thanks for the introduction, Scott. Always a pleasure to be here. Yeah, this is a tool for looking at the way that requirements are related to other elements. Now, just a little caveat on this, Scott. It isn't just about requirements. You can use the matrix to display the relationship between any type of element in the repository. So let's get started. Up in the top right-hand corner, I've got my perspective set to mind mapping. I've been doing some mind mapping work earlier today. I'm going to drop that down. The perspective sets are displayed, and I'm going to go into the requirement perspective set and the requirements perspective. Click on that. The tool opens up the builder page, and as always, there are a number of patterns which are displayed. You can inject those into your model to get productivity gains, but I want to do things from first principles. Let's close that builder page there and have a look at our model. Let's have a look at our requirements model. So in the project browser, about halfway down there, you can see I've got a requirements model, and there are a number of elements underneath that. Functional requirements there. We've got a business rules model as well. So let's have a quick look at some of those things. We've got business rules, a rule task there related to a particular requirement, and they're packaged up into business rule packages. But let's close that for a minute. But there's a relationship that we could look at. Let's have a look at another type of relationship. We've got our relationships to use case traceability model, and we can see that in the diagram there that we've got a number of requirements that are being realized by the use cases. So this connector here, the realization connector, dashed line with an open arrowhead pointing to the thing that's being realized. So let's now focus on our relationship matrix. And remember, the purpose of this, Scott, is for a business person, whether you're working at a technology level or a business level, you can see the relationship between particular elements, and in this case, requirements. So what's happening with these requirements? How are they being realized, and making sure that there is going to be some type of analysis and development work that's going to implement these requirements. So if I select a package in the project browser, I can simply select that package there, and I can go up here to the design ribbon, the package panel, and if I click on this package matrix there, you can see that the relationship matrix opens up. And I've been doing some work with test packages before. I'm just going to close that, Scott. It opens up in its blank state there with no elements listed, and I can select the source and the target. But an easier thing to do when you're working is to say, look, I want to open up that functional requirements package, go again to the design ribbon, the package panel there, and this one here, the item package matrix, and I can say open as source, as target, as both. So that might be a bit confusing, but if you had requirements related to other requirements, then you could open them up as both and show the relationship between the requirements in the package to other requirements in the same package. I'm going to open up as source, and you can see that the tool now lists the requirements that are part of that package inside this element here. So I'm now going to look at my target package. So get the functional requirements, and I'm going to set this target package here, and I'm going to choose locate the package in the browser, and I'm going to choose a behavioral model and a use case model. So I'm going to choose the parking meter system there.
Yep.
And you can see now that all of the use cases have been listed as targets. And Scott, you can move these lines around, and if you need some more space, the requirement's longer, you can do that. Now, at the moment, what's happening is that we have got no relationships displayed. What we're wanting to do is show the relationship in the intersection of two particular elements. So a requirements element and where it intersects with a particular use case. And the reason why that's not displaying is because I don't have the link type set up. And before I do that, though, I want to make sure that I've only got functional requirements displayed. Now you can see I've got this book event parking session here that doesn't appear to be a requirement. Let me just change the type there, and I'll scroll down here to requirements. Right, and you can see now that's gone away. So it wasn't.
So if you had a diagram with a legend on it and maybe a use case and a class for some reason, you could get rid of all of that and just focus on the requirements.
Exactly, Scott. And the same with this one. I want to focus on the use cases. So again, I'll just scroll down to use case there, and we'll find that down the bottom here somewhere to new use case. There we go. And you can see now that that's reduced that list as well. So now we're focusing on just the use cases. So select the packages, then for each axis, so the source, the ones that are rows, and the target, which are the columns, select the types. And we still don't have anything being displayed. So let's have a look and see what link type we want. So the elements can be connected by all sorts of different link types. And if we look back into our diagram, that's simply just a matter of clicking over at this other tab. We'll see that the relationship, as we discussed earlier, is a realization relationship that we're interested in. So we'll click back to our relationship matrix, go into the link type, and we'll choose realization there. And Scott, again, nothing pops up. So what's happening here? Well, we've got this other direction property here that's saying the direction is from source to target. Now, we want to change that direction and say, let's say target to source. Now, you can see that a little green icon has popped up at the intersection.
So what do the green arrows represent?
So the green arrows represent a relationship, and in our case, a realization relationship. So that's what that's saying, is that the pay for parking use case realizes the payment processing requirement. And another one here, the perform maintenance use case realizes the perform maintenance requirement. And if we go back to the diagram, Scott, and just have a look at that so we're clear on what we're talking about, those relationships are there, and there's the perform maintenance use case, and there's the perform maintenance requirement. So very powerful. The other thing is that I've been working with these relationship matrix in this particular model a little bit, and what you can see is I've got a number of options set, and I want to just show you where those options are. So if we go to options and then options again, you can see that there are a number of different matrix options here. Include source children, include target children. So that's going to come up. If I've got nested requirements, do I want to display those as well? Include all extended meta types. That's something for an advanced topic. But show the package names, use element alias if available, show the level numbering if available. And these last two, highlight source elements without relationships, highlight target elements without relationships. Let's just turn these off and turn on the one that says show package names. And let's have a look what happens. So we're doing two things. We're going to display the package names for both the requirements and the use cases, and we're going to turn off the green and blue text, and we'll come back to it. So now it's a much more vanilla display there, but what I've got is that I've got the package name there. And Scott, what I want to show people is when I've working in my consulting practice, I've seen this a lot. It becomes a little bit cumbersome, particularly if your package names are larger and you're not that interested in your package. You know what package you've got up here because it's saying functional. It's got that. It's got the parking meter system for the use cases as well. So I'm going to go off and turn that off. But at the same time, I want to show you this thing as well, that this is all about traceability. And the take-home message is if you have got requirements that haven't been traced, haven't been realized by a use case, then there are parts of functionality in your system that will not be implemented, won't be developed, won't be chosen as part of an off-the-shelf package. And also, if you've got use cases that you're working on that don't realize any requirement, then perhaps someone is putting bells and whistles on. Perhaps they've made up some requirements. Perhaps that there isn't a requirement and extra work is being done. So let's go and change those options. One will change the packages back so that we don't display the package, and the other one will turn on this highlighting. So options again, and let's turn off the package names. We don't want those on, and let's highlight the source elements without relationships and highlight the target elements without relationships. So this doesn't mention requirements and use cases because, as I said, these can be used.
It could be any element. Yeah.
Could be any element. Now what you can see is the blue bands represent the requirements that don't have any use case realized in them. The pink band represents a use case that doesn't have any relationship to a requirement. So this perhaps is something that someone's developing without any need. So what I can do, Scott, is I can put in relationships directly in this particular view. So here, let's have a look at this time display, and we've got what have we got here? Time display, check remaining time. But I'm going to look at something else, the time management there, and I'm going to put in a relationship between time management and that. So I can go right mouse click there and say create new relationship. Now that's going to create a relationship for me, and again that will be that.
And that's a realization relationship.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I've got selected, and so that's what I can do. So I can also go here and say, locate the in-project browser, so I can find that time management one there. I can also say, find in all diagrams, and it's in this requirements model here.
So if you identified a gap with a requirement, for example, you could go and find it in a diagram and look to see what resources are associated, and you could talk to the team and say, why is this one not being realized by anything, and follow up.
Exactly, Scott. So lots of opportunity there to do things. I can also set this as the context element, and now you can see the properties information is being displayed about that element. So that gives me the information that I need as I work through, and I can do that on either one there. I can say set that as the context element. You can see now that's changing that information, so I can look up the properties there. So lots of very useful things, Scott. There, I can put overlays. That's the topic for an extended video or an advanced video. But you might have like racy properties where you want to put in an overlay into the matrix rather than the little arrow, an R, an A, a C, or an I, if you're familiar with racy. And the other things is there are a few options here, Scott. I can profiles here. I can save as a new profile, and I'm going to call this functional requirements times use cases. And I'll save that. I'll drop that down to a smaller X, and I'll save that. And now that's been saved, Scott, I can go over to the resources window here, and you can see that that's available from the resources window. So even if I had this matrix closed, I could get that back up again, which I'll just do. So I'll close this one here. I'll make sure that my other options have been set. Yeah, that's fine. And I'll just close this one. And now if I don't know where that is, I can simply go over to the resources window, click on that, and it's going to open that up for me. The other option, Scott, is here under options. A few different things. We can scale the settings. We can print preview, save as a meta file, save as a ping. So if you wanted to get this out and save it as as an image file and paste it into some other your favorite word processing package, you can do that. Export to CSV, so that's a useful thing to do as well, Scott.
Can you include a relationship matrix in a report in Enterprise Architect?
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. So you can that becomes an option when you're creating reports to include that, and I encourage people to do it. Sometimes people got extremely large matrices and you want to change the paper size for some of those. but you probably don't want to be displaying them like that. The best thing to do is to limit the matrix in some way by, selecting a sub package or something like that and displaying it in multiple panels. But, of course, we do have clients that use large paper scales, A3, A2, and you can obviously print out a large matrix into one of those formats. So lots of options there, Scott. Update the current profile, save as a new profile, delete the current one. So that's the relationship matrix. And remember, it's really about being able to explore, what's going on with your requirements and what they're connected to from a traceability point of view. So again, it's part of our way of visualizing requirements in the tool.
Thanks, Stephen. I think it's really good to see the relationship matrix in action and to easily specify the source and target and what type of link type you're going to search for. And it really does, the blue and pink allows you to scan a large matrix to see where all your gaps are. So that's great. To our audience, thank you once again for joining us. We always appreciate your time, and we love that you are giving us feedback and reaching out to us and commenting on the videos. So as always, if you've enjoyed the video, we encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. If you have any questions about the relationship matrix or requirements modeling and management in general, you can reach out to Stephen using his LinkedIn and website credentials that are listed in the video description below. And as always, thank you very much, Stephen, for showing us the relationship matrix. It's been great to see it in action and a really good, powerful visualization tool. So thanks so much.
Always a pleasure, Scott.